This screencast is for the Jackson newspaper interview assignment. Basically what we're working on for the next 2 days is a mock interview between an interviewer and the President Andrew Jackson. So as you can see, I am on the assignment page for today. There are several steps involved here. Let's take a look at step 1. Click here to read the instructions for the unit assessment. Jackson Interview Project. Instructions. Imagine you are a reporter for a large city newspaper in the year 1837. Andrew Jackson has just left office, and you have been given the assignment of interviewing him about his presidency and his role in American politics. Create a list of 10 interview questions you would ask the former president during your interview, and then answer them according to how Andrew Jackson may have responded, based on what you learned in the chapter. Consider various aspects of his presidency, like his campaign and election, conflicts, and the causes and effects of Indian relocation. So basically what we're doing here is we are taking what we have learned about Andrew Jackson, and in this interview you are taking on the persona of Andrew Jackson. So I will not accept yes or no questions for this assessment, because that is not doing your work and not responding as Andrew Jackson would respond. Remember, he's an interesting guy. You will be assessed on the accuracy of your responses and how they relate to what you have learned in this unit. All questions need to be written from the perspective of an interviewer talking to Andrew Jackson. So what I've done here is I've given you 12 topics, and you need to write write a question about 10 of these topics, and they are nominating conventions, John C. Calhoun, the spoil system, kitchen cabinet, the tariff of abominations, the nullification crisis, what Jackson thought about the bank, McCulloch v. Maryland, the Indian Removal Act, the Trail of Tears, the Panic of 1837, and states' rights. So, I've given you the material for your 10 questions right here. You just need to choose which 10 items you are going to use your textbook to research. So, if you look at my next little section here, it says click here to access your note sheet for the terms. We're going to change that to topics. And click here to access a template you can use to complete the assignment. Let's take a look at the note sheet. So what I've done here is with the topics, I have written them all out on a notes page. And you are choosing 10 out of 12. Don't forget that. So use this notes page to write down all of the information you need on the items that you choose. Again, rely on your textbook to help you out here. Don't use Google, don't use Wikipedia. Textbook, guys. And this note sheet is actually submittable for bonus points today. So if you complete this worksheet today and submit it to me, I will give you 12 bonus points. So this is an optional assignment here. So if you really want to start the quarter off well, do the worksheet. So again, this is a worksheet for you to research the 10 topics that you're going to write about in your questions. Now, going back to the main assignment. I've also included a template, and I'd really recommend that you use this when writing your assignment. So, what I've done is gone ahead and made a Google Doc. All you gotta do is write in your questions and Andrew Jackson's answers. Remember, you're using the 10 topics that I've already given you. So looking at that, and looking at the note sheet, we should kind of understand what we need to do. I've written a sample question as well from the perspective of Martin Van Buren. This is the president that took office after Jackson. And here's my question to him. Do you feel as if the Panic of 1837 affected your presidency? Why? Note that this is not a yes or no question because I asked why. So, here's my sample response. I definitely feel like it did. President Jackson caused so many reforms and changes during his term that controversy was common. The Panic of 1837 was a financial crisis that was not my fault. It is obvious that some of Jackson's revolutionary banking policies had caused these issues. So if you look at my example here, you'll note that I wrote both of them from the proper perspective, and I also provided detail in both. which you need to do based on your knowledge from the chapter. And most importantly, how are you going to be graded on this? Here's the rubric. You will be given 10 points for giving me 10 questions. Not 8, not 7, not 6, 10. 10 questions using the 10 topics that I have given you. And if they are presented and include the required terminology. So 10 topics, I see a term in each of those questions. Responses included are detailed and expressed using complete sentences, reflecting on material from the textbook, and are not yes or no answers. So this is worth 20 points because it is all about your content here. It's really important to me that you guys understand the importance of using your textbook in this assignment. It'll tell you everything you need to know about good old Andrew Jackson. So I've also given you an additional 5 points for writing the assignment from the perspective of an interviewer and Andrew Jackson answering the interviewer. So this is all about perspective. I need to see it written in the mindset of the interviewer and in the mindset of Jackson. And lastly, 5 points for an assignment that's free of grammatical errors and anything that hinders the meaning of the sentences. So as you can see, this project's worth 40 points. Let's go back to our assignment page for today. So here's what I've laid out for you guys. We just went over step 1. You'll see the screencast pop up here. Step 2, you should spend today reviewing what you have learned about the age of Jackson and brainstorm your list of interview questions for this assignment. I'd recommend completing the terms worksheet that I talked about today. Again, you do not need to use all of the terms. You only need to choose 10 out of the 12 that I have given you. You do not need to use all of the terms. You only need to use 10 out of the 12 that I have given you. Keep that in mind, guys. You can turn in this term sheet for optional participation credit. So basically, if you want bonus points, turn in this worksheet in the digital drop box below. If you would like me to look at your questions, I'm also very happy to do that to make sure you've got it. Email them to me by the end of the day, and I will get them back to you tomorrow. I am also going to hold a project starter session, like a question and answer session, via Google Hangout on Friday at 1:30 in the afternoon. You have today and tomorrow to finish the project and may submit over the long weekend if you need the time. If you're interested in attending the Hangout just to make sure you're on the right track, to maybe answer a question, or just to seek my opinion, email me and I'll set you up for that. So again, the only thing submittable today is the term sheet that you would like to complete if you want extra credit. But other than that, you're working on researching your 10 questions from the 10 topics that I have given you and responding to them from the perspective of Andrew Jackson. This concludes my screencast talking about the Jackson Project. If you have questions, please call or email me anytime today or tomorrow. Remember, I want you to do well, so you need to ask questions if you are stuck or confused.